continue our coverage there and here. So I think Cody's live right now. Severe thunderstorm warning, Anoka, Dakota, Hennepin, and Ramsey County until 9:15. If you are anywhere from downtown Minneapolis, northwest, pardon me. Got some hail on the ground in Maple Grove. Okay, yeah, let's take that shot. From my wife in Eden Prairie, we were getting reports of P+ size hail. And this is in Maple Grove. That looks more like a snow drift rather than
doesn't it though?
Some hail.
Wow.
So that's P size plus, and you almost want to get out the snow shovel and take care of business, but it's going to melt all in the next couple of hours. The ground is heated wickedly yesterday with temperatures in the upper 90s. Go ahead.
Hey, just got a text from meteorologist Mace Michaels, who's up in Plymouth. Said had about 5 minutes of some marble-sized hail, and he estimates probably 45 or 50-mile-an-hour winds, but the rain was the biggest thing, certainly in Plymouth.
Great. Okay, thanks, Mace. My buddy Mace. Joined. My buddy Mace joined. Mace Michaels, our meteorologist up in Plymouth. Thank you, Mace. So, marble size is tough to negotiate. P size definitely there. P size plus, but the reports have been of 1.5 inches, which is ping pong ball size hail. Go.
So I just got another text from Jason Matheson, who's in downtown Minneapolis. Marble size hail and green skies.
Yeah. So that happens when we have a sky like this. We call that a bruised sky. That dark green and black and yellow mixed in. Jason Matheson even getting in on it this morning. Jason, we always appreciate you helping out our coverage. Anybody who's texting myself or Cody, here's a better idea. The backside of this storm. Cokato, Greenleaf, Hutchinson, you're done. You are finished. Now it is time to figure out what happened. Now, here's something really important. As these storms come through, with winds gusting 60 to 80 miles per hour, we're talking about power outages, and of course that means power lines down. Don't head outside and investigate. If you think it's safe, it probably isn't. And in particular here, if the winds have hit your neighborhood and you're out of power, don't go outside. Hunker down. If you've got a cell phone and can use it, that's what you do, and you call the authorities to come and figure out what happened in your neighborhood. Here's, again, this little tiny bow that's working from the metro. And if you follow the bright white from Brooklyn Park into downtown Minneapolis and bend back here through say Hopkins and St. Louis Park and Edina, back toward Bloomington, then into Eden Prairie, and then down off southwest toward Shakopee and Chaska.
There it is.
That's the bow I was talking about. Go ahead.
There's our new severe thunderstorm warning. So they're continuing the trend, issuing severe thunderstorm warning now for everyone that's east, basically east metro, eastward into western sections of Wisconsin. This is a huge severe thunderstorm warning for Dakota, Washington, Pierce, Polk, and St. Croix counties. That goes through 9:30.
So that's the area right here, and you'll see the boundary. It's flashing. That's the new severe thunderstorm warning. And this is exactly what I talked about. We talked about a bow echo. Here's the bow. The archer behind the bow releases the arrow. The arrow, if you will, is the wind. And the wind is on the leading edge of the bow. Now through downtown Minneapolis, about to work into downtown St. Paul. Yeah, we are in play mode. Excellent. So let's track where the leading edge is here and bring things. Won't work for me. Let's clear that out. Let's give that another one. Cody.
Ian, you need some help, buddy?
Oh, here. Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's where it is right now. Vadnais Heights, Mendota Heights, and Cedar Grove, all in the next few minutes.
It's not liking it. Let me give it a whirl from over here.
Yeah, go. There you go, right on the front edge, moving it off to the east at around 50 miles per hour. And again, it's important to talk about when we say 50 miles per hour, that's not the winds. That's how fast these storms are moving forward or how fast they're tracking to the east. So Woodbury in about 5 minutes here, Rosemont in 9 minutes. Why isn't Woodbury up there?
I don't know. You know what's concerning though, is I look at this and stare at it for a second.
Yeah.
What's really concerning for me is this little the extended bow. That's let's see if I can get this to work. Right. I'm not really sure what happened there. Did you click forward?
That's me.
Aha! The extended bow right in here.
Yeah.
That little bow signature.
Yeah.
So these winds are thrusting this way, which is not a good sign for parts of the north and northeast metro.
Okay, so let's think about this. We're talking about areas like Little Canada. We're talking about areas like Forest Lake. And this is a live look outside our studios, broadcast center here in Eden Prairie. Looks like it's midnight. As blinding rain, clouds in contact with the ground, some localized flooding, absolutely possible with rainfall rates here of upwards of 2 inches an hour. So you've got the big time rain, the thunder, the lightning, it's all here. Pea-size hail confirmed in the metro, west of the metro, ping pong ball size hail confirmed about an hour ago. Wind gusts at 60 to 80 miles per hour, and that, my friends, is Eden Prairie. And somewhere in here, we had it a few minutes ago, was the Eden Prairie water tower that you can't see.
Here.
We're probably maybe a quarter mile from that location.
Here we go. Here comes all the wind reports. Mound reporting 61 mile an hour winds and some trees down. Have a 61 mile an hour gust in Waconia. Also have a 65 mile an hour wind gust at the Crystal Airport. That was reported maybe 6 minutes ago. So tremendous winds. And again, it's that bow that I was talking about that's now pushing into the northeast metro.
Look at the lightning coming along with us. Right with the cores, Cody. And when you talk about the bow, look how the lightning follows the bow. Coming into downtown Minneapolis and then stretching here off toward the north and the northeast metro. And again, that would be areas like Little Canada, off into Forest Lake. Zoom out the map here and give you a better idea what we're looking at. And the entire Twin Cities metro right now under the severe thunderstorm warning that will continue until 9:15 for Anoka, Dakota, Hennepin, and Ramsey County. Just off to the north, this is what Cody was talking about, right here. So there you can pick up, that's just north of the downtowns of Minneapolis and St. Paul. See those little yellow squares? The track has changed somewhat. So instead of tracking due east, we're now tracking the storms that are north of the downtowns of Minneapolis and St. Paul. That's really important here. The storms that are north of the downtowns have now taken a slight turn and are now moving off to the north and to the northwest at nearly 50 miles per hour. Again, the thunder and the lightning is all a part of it here, with the strongest core of the storm from Eden Prairie, now through Bloomington, now in downtown St. Paul, and coming back up toward Little Canada. Go ahead, Cody.
I just want to remind folks, I'm getting a lot of comments on Facebook. I'm on Facebook Live, by the way. I'm getting a lot of comments on Facebook that people do not have power, they're losing signal, that they're not able to see us on TV. So if you have some friends or family in the West Metro or South Metro, they're complaining about not having power and want to know more information, just check out my Facebook page. There's a lot of folks on here that are very unhappy about the very strong winds and the hail.
Well, it's Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You know, and you become accustomed to knowing, hey, it's hot, it's humid, that generally will mean we'll get storms late afternoon into the evening. I've got time to prepare. These storms started at 7 a.m. this morning, and they're rolling across the metro right now, and it is 8:56. Not a lot of preparation time, especially if you're jolted out of bed and didn't see the forecast last night where we were talking about this and the possibility of strong storms first thing this morning. There you have a look. The weather alerts right now. Dakota, Pierce, St. Croix, Washington. That's the newest line here of severe thunderstorms. It's flashing, outlined in black. That is until 9:30. How fast are these storms moving? 50 plus miles per hour. It seems like 10 minutes ago they were just knocking on the western fringe of the greater Twin Cities metro. Now they worked across downtown Minneapolis. Downtown Minneapolis, you're still in the rain, but the core has passed to your east. Thunder and lightning are still there. Now it's in downtown St. Paul. The core is over downtown St. Paul and tracking off to the north and to the northeast. Cody, do you need me?
No.
Okay.
You're good.
Idea. The weather center's there. The anchor desk is there.
I'm trying to communicate while not speaking. It's
It's
tough.
is sitting at our anchor desk, ready to go here at 9 o'clock. Cody Natch is in the weather center. I'm here in the extended weather center, giving you an idea of this storm. We're in Eden Prairie, and through the studio roof right now,
Yeah.
I can hear the thunder. And the lightning and the rain is absolutely blinding in parts of Eden Prairie. And I know wherever you are in the heart of the metro, you're seeing
Yes, I did.
and
Thank
feeling
you.
the exact same thing. So that new severe thunderstorm warning is this line of very strong storms continues to move now over downtown St. Paul. But then look how it bends all the way back. I'm gonna zoom in here and give you a better idea, Cody, as we get a little closer into the North Metro. Look at Shoreview, back toward Brooklyn Park.
Jeez.
So this is lightning tracker pinging away. The white border of the deep violet hue you see there, those are 2-inch plus rainfall rates an hour. Cody talked about this about an hour ago on the air. This is also where we're going to find the hail cores. So the radar is interrupted. The beam gets interrupted when it finds something in the air. When it finds hail, which is generally larger than a raindrop, it's a big interruption, and that's why we get this purpley hue. But notice where the core is, right with lightning tracker. Cody, go.
I just wanted to pass along the information. So XL Energy reporting now 33,000 customers without power, all the way from Granite Falls and Montevideo all the way into the metro now. So power is going out everywhere. Again, we're on Facebook Live on my Facebook page. The severe thunderstorm warnings continue, and we're getting some damage reports, some trees and power outages, obviously. Brooklyn Park reporting some pea-sized hail drifts. So it's deep enough to actually drift
Yeah.
with some tree debris down at the moment, and a 60-knot wind gust. So that's about 70 miles an hour. This was reported.
Where was that?
Wow, I gotta read the reverberation here. It's an ASOS report, and I think it's actually MSP Airport, 60-knot gust.
So there was an airport weather warning that was put out about 45 minutes ago. It doesn't mean much for folks, but it would tell you if you follow weather, you're a bit of a weather geek big weather geek like Cody and I. An airport weather warning lets us know that strong winds are coming. They're probably going to delay, maybe even cancel flights. Gust from the ASOS, do you think that's a stick at the airport?
That is a stick at the airport, 70 miles an hour.
70 mile per hour wind gusts at MSP International. That's what we've been on the air for, talking about and warning you all about as we've been on the air here for the last couple of hours. 70 mile per hour wind gust at MSP International. That's right about here. But notice that's away from the core that's now bending from Blaine all the way through Forest Lake back into Little Canada, now approaching Stillwater. This is the line. I'm going to zoom in and give you a better idea here, because there is a definite difference between where you look where the core is and where everything is happening with the heavy rain and the hail. Look how clear it is here. So from Forest Lake, you're right on the edge of the rain. Stillwater, you open up the door and you look out to the west. I guarantee Stillwater, you're going to see a wall of clouds and some incredible vivid lightning. You're probably already hearing the thunder. There's the line. So from Lake Elmo into Scandia down to Stillwater and Hudson. So all along the St. Croix right now, and think about the boats that are on the marina at the St. Croix. If there are some folks who went out on boats and you can get them on the shortwave or however you can, you got to tell them to get to shore immediately. These storms are advancing off to the east at around 50 miles per hour with wind gusts now confirmed in the metro at the airport of 70 miles per hour. The winds will be right here. Lake Elmo to May to Scandia, you're probably seeing winds right now at around 30 miles per hour. So the grass is even blowing. The smaller trees are starting to blow. In about 5 minutes, that all changes. The rain arrives very quickly, the winds switch, and we're talking about damaging strong winds at 60 to 80 miles per hour here, all along the St. Croix. Going to take us out from where we're just looking at the St. Croix so we don't forget what's going on here. So around the airport and off to the southeast, again, winds at 70 miles per hour confirmed at MSP International. Cody.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind folks, I appreciate all the pictures I'm getting on my Twitter and Facebook. Ian, I'm sure you're getting the same thing. It's actually easier for us during live coverage if you hashtag on Twitter Fox9 Weather, because then folks in our background can actually take care of those pictures for us and get those on the air. So hashtag Fox9 Weather if you can do it safely. As much as we appreciate the pictures on some of our Twitter feeds, it would just be easier for us.
Just heard from my friend Sheila Oliver in Edina, dime-sized hail. So a big difference from where we were with that hail core about an hour ago of ping pong ball-sized hail. So the hail has dropped in size, but the winds have kept up in intensity. The latest confirmed wind report in the metro, actually at the airport, 70 miles per hour, and that is about 11 minutes ago as this line here. So go from, there's Egan. You can barely make out, that's Egan right there. Bending back here into, say, Sunfish Lake and Woodbury and Afton, and then all the way here off toward Forest Lake. That is the bow that I've been talking the better part of the morning about. That bow, did you take it out of play or were we in play?
No, we're in play. You're good. I'm hearing it click. Uh-oh.
It's clicking. There we go. No, we're good now.
You good?
So that bow that I've been talking about all morning has moved. It shifts as the storms themselves move. But now you begin to look. So you look here, just north of the metro, then down toward Forest Lake, then back out toward Marine-on-St. Croix, and then it comes all the way back down toward Woodbury and Egan. Again, the Archer here. And as the Archer releases the arrow, notice the new severe thunderstorm warnings in advance of this line of very strong winds. The severe thunderstorms, thunder, lightning, winds gusting 60 to 80 miles per hour. And again, let's talk about this. The reason we're on the air, this is a straight line wind event. We had plenty of wind damage west of the metro. We're now getting damage reports in the west metro, and we will get damage reports for the east metro as this line continues to advance. Severe thunderstorm warning until 9:30. It's been extended for 15 minutes further to the east for Anoka, Chisago, and Washington counties. And there's the advancing line of these storms with the thunder, the lightning, the small, at this point, dime to pea-size hail, from ping pong ball size hail about an hour ago to dime and pea-size hail right now with the new severe thunderstorm warning. And these will stack up, Cody, through the next hour. These
yes, they will
continue to stack up here off to the east as this line continues. I said give us an hour from the time the storms start to the time they're pretty much finished in your location. That's what's happened here in the West Metro. That's what will happen for the Greater Metro and the East Metro. If the storms are just hitting you, think about it, look at your watch. You've got an hour to ride out the storm. You've got an hour to ride out the blinding heavy rain. Absolutely. The thunder, the lightning, the small pea-sized hail, it is all a part of it. Go.
Just getting reports now. Power is out in the entire city of Norwood, Young America. So power is still out. MnDOT is doing traffic detail apparently because all the traffic lights are out.
Okay.
So that's in Norwood, Young America. Shakopee has trees down. There's power out, some 35,000 people in climbing, and downtown St. Paul just had a wind gust of 59 miles an hour.
Wow. Okay, so Norwood, Young America, you're without power. I hope you can hear us on Facebook Live. If you know that we're on Facebook Live and you know that someone's in Norwood, Young America, and they're thinking, I don't know what to do. Cody Matz, meteorologist Cody Matz on Facebook. Search his Facebook account. He is live right now, and so is Fox 9's Facebook page. We are doing a Facebook Live event as well for anybody who is out of power. I know we have approximately 800,000 followers on Fox 9 Facebook. We're live on Fox 9 Facebook as well. So let's pick up exactly where we left off. Here is the bow stretching from Burnsville, Inver Grove Heights, now just east of St. Paul, back up toward Little Canada, and just south and southeast of Forest Lake, advancing on the St. Croix. Go ahead, Cody.
I believe we have Leah Bino, who's actually on the phone with us. Today's her day off, but she's actually on the phone with us, and I believe she's in South Minneapolis. Do we have that? Do we?
Hi, Leah. How are you?
Well, thank you, Leah. We appreciate it. Thank you for calling in. Stay safe. It looks like
So Leah's without power?
Leah's without power. She's in South Minneapolis, just inside that severe thunderstorm warning, but it looks like the worst is past the South Minneapolis area and now into the east and south metro. I believe we have some live pictures. If the control room can get those live pictures of Maple Grove, once again, some pretty good video, or maybe it's not live. It may be just videos.
Over of the hailstorm coming through.
Okay.
So hold on, everyone in the control room, hold on. I don't want to go to the Maple Grove video because that is what has happened, and I'm sure we'll use that here as we talk about this storm through news coverage today. Let's hold off on that because this weather event is still unfolding here in parts of the metro where we got 3 million people. So head from Centerville back down to Stillwater. I talked about what's going to happen here when we talk about, say, the St. Croix and the Marine on the St. Croix. Let's center in on this line of storms. About 5 minutes ago, it was not at Lake Elmo and Grant yet. Notice where the core is right now. And when we talk about the core, it's where we're going to find the hail. And reports of hail drifts, but not large hail. We went from ping pong ball size hail down to dime and pea size hail. Nonetheless, plenty of hail. There's the core. Now just to the east of White Bear Lake, coming out of North St. Paul, over top of Granton Lake Elmo, where 5 minutes ago it wasn't there. That speaks to the forward speed, or how fast these storms are moving. Ground speed between 40 and 50 miles per hour off to the east. So Stillwater, this storm is on you now, with winds gusting 60 to 80 miles per hour. As you move further off to the north of this storm, you begin to look into May, into Withrow, into Weston. That's lightning traffic. Lightning is blinding right now, along with rainfall rates of upwards of 2 inches. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, that's one of the strongest little bow segments I've seen in a long time. Look at that thing.
Yeah, from Lino Lakes. Now think about a couple of years ago, the strong storms in Lino Lakes stretching all the way back into Hugo. Look at it bend all the way down to Stillwater and probably the marine on the St. Croix. So change the way the storm looks. We've been talking about a storm that's tracking due east at 40 to 50 miles per hour. Because you've got this lag, here in the overall bow, back off toward the north and the west. Start to look for Forest Lake, areas like Scandia and Somerset. These winds are going to come here, out of the south and the southwest, and start to track more to the north and to the northeast. So areas like Chisago City and Schaefer. Let me zoom out just to give you a much better idea of what's happening off to the north. See Chisago City, Scandia. See, and this is the core that Cody has been talking about for, about 2 hours. We've been talking about this core. You come back to North St. Paul, downtown Minneapolis, rain. Yes. You're looking outside saying, my gosh, what blew through here? And that's exactly what it was. Winds at 60 to 80 miles per hour. Pea to dime size hail. Sheila Oliver confirming dime size hail in Edina, excuse me. But that's what we're concentrating on right now. When you want to track this cell individually, pick up the cell here in May. Now bring it out, and remember, we're talking about 50 mile per hour track. Look how fast this storm will move in the next hour. So off into Garfield and Alden. There's the marine on the St. Croix. I've been talking about this, and it's June, so there are plenty of votes. I bet all the slips are full. The marine on the St. Croix in the next 4 minutes. That's incredible advancement of this storm in the last 15 minutes. It was clear marine in the St. Croix about 10 minutes ago. Go, Cody.
And I don't think that the hail can be discounted here. Just got a report with this same spot. So basically, center part of your screen in that purple and pink zone of ping pong ball size hail. That's in Circle Pines in Anoka County. And combine that with the 50 or 60 mile an hour winds, and you're in for a bad day.
Yeah. So that was Circle Pines where you got that?
Yes.
There we go. So here, you begin, you're starting to look here. You say, Minneapolis, that's where I live. Downtown St. Paul, that's where I live. The rain is still right on top of you. I'm looking off to the side here, looking at our monitors for Eden Prairie. It's interesting how the rain is still on us in Eden Prairie, but the light is finally back. About 15 to 20 minutes ago, it was like midnight over here.
Yeah, it was.
You couldn't see a thing. You could barely make out 494, which is about 0.2 of a mile away from our broadcast studios. We couldn't see the road anymore. The rain is still with us. There's a small core in around Inver Grove Heights, Burnsville, down off toward Afton and Sunfish Lake. Go ahead, Cody. I'm going to step back here.
There it is. There's our first 80 mile an hour wind gusts. Now this actually came from a site in Litchfield about an hour ago, but an 80 mile an hour wind gust now confirmed in just south of Litchfield in Meeker County. Just got a 66 mile an hour wind gust in Richfield. Of course, that's in the southern metro in Hennepin County. Do have a 58 mile an hour wind gust to the east side of St. Paul. That's just outside of downtown, not necessarily East St. Paul, but the east side of downtown. As winds are still gusting, looks like pretty widespread at 60 to 80 miles an hour. Looking at the XL Energy map, now almost 45,000 customers without power, and that's just what they've reported. This is happening exceedingly fast, and so it's likely going to continue to climb here over the next hour to hour and a half.
Metro base, 45,000?
That is central Minnesota based. Looks like Metro is about 30,000 customers.
So that also includes what you said a few minutes ago, the folks in Norwood, Young America.
Yes.
Who had the strongest part of this storm. a full hour ago, Norwood Young America is without power. I would imagine a lot of the smaller communities here to the west that had the winds at 60 to 80 miles per hour around 8 a.m. this morning. I would imagine a lot of homes and communities without power right now. Again, we're on Facebook Live, on Fox 9 Facebook Live, on meteorologist Cody Matt's Facebook Live. Just walking around, you're a cameraman. It's great. Here he is. Cameraman Cody Matz, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, there are so many folks without power with this, and it was actually getting reports on Twitter, which is what gave me the idea. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Great idea. And
So-
it's just one of the tools we get to use.
Yeah, it's great.
So it is one way to reach the folks who don't have power right now. I don't want to go too far away from what's happening here. You pick up the core. Now we're well to the north and northeast of the metro. Star Prairie, the Marine on the St. Croix, Stillwater, Hudson. That's where our core of the strongest storm sits right now. So I'll take you there on storm vision radar. So let me do this. Stillwater was not in the storm, neither was Lake Elmo. That has all changed. Now we're looking for areas like River Falls and Roberts back up to Star Prairie and Deer Park. Look, there's the very definitive line between the rain and what you're looking at. So if you're in Roberts and you walk up the door and you're looking due west, you're going to see a dark, ominous, striated cloud staring right in the face. It looks like midnight is coming. That's the rain. You'll already see the winds starting here in Roberts, working all the way along 94, winds gusting upwards of 50 miles per hour. Confirmed wind gusts at the Minneapolis-St. International Airport of 70 miles per hour a full 25 minutes ago. But everybody who is a part of this storm will suddenly realize you've been a part of a straight line wind event the better part of this morning. Storms are to the north and to the south of the metro, but these are thunderstorms. You've probably heard us say before, garden variety thunderstorms. The reason they're called that is because they bring the thunder, the lightning, and some brief, very heavy rain. It's great for the garden, it's great for the ground, and then it's gone. That's exactly what it is, to the north and to the south. Here in downtown St. Paul, stretching to the Marine on the St. Croix, we're still in Seoul. Well, as I say that, the greater metro. So folks who've lived here for a long time know when I say the loop, or inside the loop. Here's the loop, 694, 494. Everywhere inside the loop has now been allowed to expire from the severe thunderstorm warning. So downtown Minneapolis, downtown St. Paul, thunder, lightning, rain, yes, you have all three right now. But you do not have severe thunderstorms. The only severe thunderstorm warning we have in place right now is for Washington, Chisago, and St. Croix counties. That is in place here. That's the orange outline right here, east of the metro. That's in place for another 15 minutes. So again, everywhere inside the 494 or 694 loop, the severe thunderstorm warnings for downtown Minneapolis, St. Paul, and everyone else in the loop have been allowed to expire. It is here, Washington, St. Croix, and Chisago counties that were in severe thunderstorm warnings for the next 15 minutes. We were looking at this earlier. We call this VIL, vertically integrated liquid. And you're saying to yourself, well, why are you telling me about this? I want you to see the core of hail and heaviest rain when we talk about the bow and then stretching all the way down through the Minnesota River Valley back off toward Mankato. Those are all hail core signatures and tracks as we sit right now. But we've been dealing with the strong storms here. Norwood, Young America without power. I'd imagine a lot of locations here southwest of the metro without power. But notice Hutchinson, who had a 71 mile per hour wind gust about an hour and a half ago, they're in the clear. From Hutchinson all the way to Fairfax. So Meeker, McLeod, Sibley counties, you're in the clear from the strong storms. There's Sibley. There's not much going on. This is Eden Prairie now. So 15 minutes ago, we couldn't see this road. Now it is rain and the calm after the storm. I want to give folks an idea of what's going to happen or what we suppose or forecast to happen later in the day. This is a monster storm. Came rolling out of the Dakotas. It represents somewhat what we call an MCS, a mesoscale convective system. In other words, it breathes on its own. Doesn't use the heat of the day. Obviously, came out of the Dakotas overnight. This storm will continue to advance as a system off toward the east. We'll get into the clear. It is going to be very humid today and yet warm again. And as the atmosphere has a chance to recharge or breathe, almost like it had a very strong workout this morning, it will have a chance to develop more thunderstorms as we work into this afternoon and through this evening. So we're not quite finished, and Cody was talking about this earlier when we were dealing with what's happening at about 7 o'clock this morning. I got a text from Cody. This is a very, very lovely text. Just said 2 quick words. You up?
I was just making sure.
Because we tend to talk a lot off camera. Folks always say, "Well, do you guys talk a lot? Do you do stuff?" And we're like, "Yeah, we talk a lot because we are true weather geeks in the strongest, most complimentary."
Put it this way, I knew you weren't going to sleep through the storms.
No,
because I don't think anyone could sleep through these storms.
No, my wife and I were up and we were getting things ready. That's what we do. Okay, severe thunderstorm warning, Anoka, Chisago, and Washington County. We talked about that along with Pierce, Polk, St. Croix, and Washington, all until 9:30. Again, the greater Twin Cities metro, everywhere inside the loop, 494, 694, severe thunderstorm warning have been allowed to expire. Strongest core of the storm now advancing off to the northeast, east, and southeast of the Twin Cities metro, now working along the St. Croix and the Mississippi and tracking east at nearly 50 miles per hour. South of the metro, in toward the 35 split into Lakeville, there are still some very strong winds on the ground. Strong winds at 50 plus miles per hour. I know that because we've got plenty of mesosignatures here off to the south, and those are those yellow squares. We'll see those yellow squares where Doppler locks on to a degree of rotation in the air. Now hold on. Don't jump to conclusions. We're not talking about tornadoes. Where the strongest winds are hitting the ground, they encompass enough resistance to create a bit of a spin. So that spin is what's represented here, south of the metro, along I-35, Lakeville, all the way down to Faribault, and that will advance toward areas like Red Wing and into Goodhue County, all in the next 60 minutes. And yes, we can tell that here by looking at what's represented on radar. And Cody, I know you've got, I'm looking out of the corner of my eye at some of the hail shots. Where's that one from?
This one's from Circle Pines. Looks like golf balls to me. It's very large hail. If you want to see that, we can't, it's really tough to transfer pictures, but if you want to give us pictures that we could put on the air, hashtag Fox9Weather, we can get them on the air a lot easier. If it's even easier or you can't get a picture done and you want to see some of them, check out Facebook Live. That's what I'm doing right now. Meteorologist Cody Matz, Fox 9.
Yeah, it is, you're right, hashtag Fox9Weather. That's the, so when you do that on Twitter, those pictures go to an entirely different department, and then we can turn them and bring them and put them on the air, because obviously Cody and I are busy.
We're a little busy right now.
So, severe thunderstorm warning for Anoka, Chisago, Washington counties. Those are about to expire, but the new ones for Pierce, Polk, St. Croix, and Washington counties will continue as the storm races at upwards of 50 miles per hour here off to the east and to the northeast. So, big picture view. Big time rain, but no severe weather to the north. So Mille Lacs here, back off toward Alexandria, just some thunderstorms. From the city's south, and it is areas from, say, Inver Grove Heights, bending all the way back across I-35, that I want folks to not let up your guard just yet. Because notice this line here from Mankato through Jordan, LeSueur, then into the South Metro, Lakeville, stretching down toward Cannon City and Faribault, then back up here toward River Falls. This is an area right here stretching into Goodhue County in the next hour. This is an area here where we're still going to find some very strong winds at upwards of 50 miles per hour as these storms race off to the east. I'm going to zoom in here on parts of Goodhue County because this is an area that hasn't had the storms yet. Notice how clear we are here. Faribault, you're just barely on the fringe here. Lightning tracker pinging away, and there's the spin representing the strong winds. Go, Cody.
What's interesting to note, so we get some of our reports in something we call the chat room, or basically a whole bunch of meteorologists kind of able to communicate very easily. What's interesting to note is that the National Weather Service just put out a little message to us a few minutes ago that says the storm over Washington County progressing into St. Croix and southern Polk County in western Wisconsin is particularly dangerous. Recent radar scans show increasing threat for large wind-driven hail up to tennis ball size. They have received numerous reports of 60-plus mile-an-hour winds with that hail and some up to 70. So that is from the National Weather Service. Some other things of note, some large tree branches and power lines down in Minnetonka. We also have golf ball size hail reported in Centerville, that's in Anoka County, and also some quarter size hail in Bloomington, along with a 55 mile an hour wind gust, and getting some quarter size hail reports in Bayport, that's in Washington County. So now we're transitioning to the east side of the metro.
Yeah, so this is exactly what we're talking about here, from the marina on the St. Croix, from Bayport all the way off to the north and to the northeast. That's an incredible stat there. Talking about the possibility of tennis ball size hail here off to the northeast of the metro. And I think what they said that's most important is wind-driven tennis ball size hail. And if you start to put that into perspective, about 4 years ago, all of the cars in the parking lot here at Fox were totaled as we had ping pong to tennis ball size hail. My car and probably about 30 of my fantastic coworkers here totaled our cars. Now we're talking about wind-driven tennis ball size hail as a possibility here off to the north and northeast of the metro. So Forest Lake, you're still in an intense part of this storm. I say that because we notice yellow squares stacked up here. 1, 2, 3. Those yellow squares tell us that we've got suspended, very strong twisting winds. Those suspended, very strong twisting winds are driving this core here out to the north and to the northeast. So let me track each one of these cells to give you a much better idea. First cell here, off to the northeast, and notice the ground speed there, right on 50 miles per hour. We've been talking about that. Into Amory, Wisconsin. Amory, you don't have anything yet. You are cloudy. The clouds are ominous. Amory, you don't have anything yet, but in the next 23 minutes, there's 10, 20, and 30 minutes. All the zones here, in 30 minutes, you will have this very strong storm with winds possible at 70 miles per hour. And from the latest update, the possibility of tennis ball sized hail. You start to look at the other cells here that are on the map. Just south of New Richmond, and again, this is, wow, it's 53 miles per hour now, forward speed, into Glenwood City in the next 23 minutes. Again, what you're looking at, this is all divided into cores, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and 30 minutes. So you've got two distinct cores advancing off to the north and to the northeast at 50 plus miles per hour. That's not the winds. If you could get in a car and drive, that's how fast these storms are tracking. Off to the northeast, 53 miles per hour. Wind gusts at 70 plus miles per hour. That's winds on the ground, damaging straight line winds, and reports of ping pong and now possible tennis ball size hail. Possible tennis ball size hail. And you say to yourself, well, where do you get these from? How can you get those possibilities? This is the type of radar we use on the air. Off the air, ourselves, the weather service, we're able to turn it into 3 dimensions and look and slice through the storm. And when we find what's suspended up in the storm from the updraft and how strong that updraft is, that gives us an idea of how big the hail can be produced from this storm. This is a big storm, massive updraft, and the possibility here off to the northeast, the possibility of tennis ball size hail, and it is a real possibility. All right, let's go ahead, Cody.
I know we have some video from Maple Grove from a viewer, and we want to show that real quick. I believe we have that queued up. There it is. And some good hail and very strong winds from a viewer in Maple Grove. I'm not sure who it was, but thank you to whoever sent this to us. Pea-size hail. And I believe we have some pictures of the leftover hail from our photographer, Dan Sundham, if we can pull that up. This is from Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. That's what's left over. Piles of hail.
That's the drifts.
That is the hail drifts in Maple Grove. So that's what we're left over with. This is not snow. This is not, it's not winter. It's just summer kind of sneezing on us.
Nice. Thanks, Dale.
Yeah.
And thanks, Jerry and Dan.
Yeah.
Everyone got us those great pictures.
Yeah, it's great.
Hashtag Fox9 Weather. If you got some pictures, we'd love to see them. And I say this all the time, and Cody mentioned it earlier too. Don't go out into the heart of the storm with your phone and try and get us a picture because it's simply not worth it. We're talking about the possibility here. Osceola, Apple River, Amory, New Richmond. Possibility here of wind-driven tennis ball size hail. That's exactly what the bulletin said. Wind-driven tennis ball size hail. Winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. Hail larger than ping pong balls. And it is all here in this core. See the core that is just purple right now? Perspective in life is everything. There's the metro. There's Minneapolis-St. Paul. There's 694 bending back down. So here's the marine on the St. Croix. There's Hudson. Here's the St. Croix River Valley. So now we are on the other side of the river valley. We are firmly with the strongest core of the storm into parts of Wisconsin, and because of that, a new severe thunderstorm warning. We said this was going to happen. As this core, as this line advances to the east at nearly 50 miles per hour ground speed, we'll start to see more warnings. So the latest warnings here for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix until 10:30. So remember how I said, look, give us an hour from the time the storm's hit to the time they're pretty much finished, at least the severe part of the storm? That's exactly what you're looking at. The storms aren't here yet, but the warning is in place until 10:30. And it's 9:27 right now. So exactly what we were saying earlier, about an hour start to finish for the severity of the storms. Go, Cody.
It looks like we have some reports of trees down on cars in Robbinsdale. Also have some trees down in parts of Maple Plain. And getting reports now from XL Energy of now 55,000 XL Energy customers in and around the metro, and that includes parts of central Minnesota all the way over to Wilmer and Montevideo, now without power, which is why we're on Facebook Live. If you don't have any power, or you've been texting someone that doesn't have any power looking for more information, check out Facebook Live, either fox9.com or my page, meteorologist Cody Matz, Fox 9.
Okay, so earlier we talked about winds gusting 70 miles per hour. That was confirmed at MSP International. Big, beautiful trees. Then you get a little rain, and then you get a lot of rain. Then you get the big-time wind, and the trees come down onto the power lines, and we have 55,000 people now confirmed without power. And, of course, those power reports are going to spike over the next couple of hours as the calls continue to come in. There's the latest severe thunderstorm warning. Barron, Dunn, Polk, St. Croix. A quick recap. We weren't on the air for tornadoes this morning. We were on the air for straight-line winds. Winds at 60 to 80 miles per hour that started well to the west in Candiota County about 3 hours ago. We're not on the air right now for tornadoes or tornado warnings. We're on the air for severe thunderstorm warnings and straight line winds still gusting 60 to 80 miles per hour here for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties. The severe weather threat for the greater Twin Cities metro is finished. The rain, the thunder, and lightning are all tapering off, and there are no warnings that involve the greater Twin Cities metro right now. South along I-35, but then east from River Falls back down into what will soon be a rain-soaked and very windy Goodhue County. That is all still to come for folks in Goodhue. It is all still to come for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix. You can see it all flashing here as the strongest core with the possibility of tennis ball-sized hail continues to advance off to the east. Notice the storm tracks here. All of these red tracks are giving you a pretty good idea where the storm is headed. A slight northeast jog here on the storms in and around New Richmond, and then back down toward Faribault, Lakeview, Apple Valley. Those storms tracking due east at upwards of 50. The latest track was 53 miles per hour in terms of the real ground speed. So the greater Twin Cities metro, your severe weather threat has passed. You are all clear for severe weather. There will still be thunder and lightning. Cody was just talking about 55,000 people without power. That is going to continue.
By the way,
going to spike.
It's up to 67,000 now.
Yeah, like I said, that's going to spike. If you know there's damage in your neighborhood, but more particular, if there's damage in your yard, if there's damage in your street, damage in your cul-de-sac, anywhere in your neighborhood, I'm going to tell you, I know you want to get outside and investigate, but when trees are down and power lines are down, you've got to stay inside and you've got to keep your kids away. Let the pros from XL Energy take care of things, call them, and they will get out. And if it means you got to stay in your house for a little while longer, I'm sorry, folks, but we got to keep our kids away from the damage. 60 to 80 mile per hour winds were gusting, and they are finished now for the metro. But that's where we're talking about the strongest storms now. Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix. It's 9:31. I want to give everybody in the booth, all of our amazing technical people behind the scenes, fair warning that we'll probably get into some news programming with Iris Perez here in the next couple of minutes as we begin to wrap up our coverage. We have been live on Facebook on Fox 9, live with meteorologist Cody Matz on his Facebook page as well. But the severe weather threat for the greater Twin Cities metro is finished. The severe thunderstorm watch that was a part of the Twin Cities metro is finished. After this big workout from the atmosphere this morning, it may take some time to recharge and talk about storm possibilities later today. And you know, on behalf of Cody Matz and myself and the entire Fox 9 weather team, we like to use the word stay sky aware. So as the severe weather threat has passed for the metro, we're going to pass off on our weather coverage right now. But I want folks here out in Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties to stay sky aware. This is a very strong storm. Winds gusting 60 to 80 miles per hour with the possibility here, notice the storm tracks, the possibility here of tennis ball sized hail. These storms will continue to race off to the east-northeast at upwards of 50 miles per hour, so don't think you've got time. If you're not in the storm yet and it's safe, batten down the hatches. For Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties, the severe weather threat is finished for the greater Twin Cities metro. On behalf of Cody Matz and myself, thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for staying sky aware, and now we've got upwards of 70,000 people without power.
Yeah, and I just want to remind folks that we are still going to continue Fox 9 Morning News. That goes until 11 a.m. We just are going to take us out of our wall-to-wall coverage, and we're going to go every 9 minutes or so.
Okay, so from this point, Cody's in the Weather Center. I'm going to say hello to my friend Iris Perez, who I didn't really think I'd see on a Sunday morning, but nonetheless, it's fabulous to see her. We're finished with our weather coverage. Cody will be back with weather on the 9s in exactly 9 minutes. But now we start the Fox 9 Morning News with my friend Iris Perez.
Thank you so much, Ian. Attorney General Jeff Sessions will testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee as part of its Russia investigation. Sessions recused himself from the investigation into the Trump campaign after admitting he met with the Russian ambassador to the United States twice last year. Sessions says his decision to testify was due in part to former FBI Director James Comey's testimony. Tuesday, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein also goes before the Appropriations Committee. Fox's Garrett Tenney has a preview of another big week in politics.
So I just walked off the air, and I know we're still talking about some strong storms out of the Northeast. There's Iris Perez. We're continuing the Fox 10 Morning News. My wife sent me out the door this morning around 7:45 or 8 o'clock with a bowl of porridge. God bless. I'm sure I'm going to eat it now, but thank you, honey. I love you.
Yeah, so thanks for watching Facebook Live. I'm going to try to keep this as active as I can. As we go back to the morning news, we'll have some updates on the 9s. Hopefully, those of you without power can continue watching, and I'll keep you updated on radar. And but we're going to do some behind-the-scenes work and have to get back to the news, so we may not have full attention here on Facebook Live. But I'm going to keep it going for a little while longer, give everyone some peace of mind. So see if I can set this up to show at least the radar in the background and the computer, and show you kind of what I'm doing here. And you're going to hear stuff in the background, but hopefully you can at least keep us going. So Facebook, I'm going to continue Facebook Living and show weather graphics.
I'll come in there and find it. It's tough to send because this is the private one, and I think
Yes.
Do you want me to come?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'll just text it to you.
Thank you.
No. That's fine with me.
Now, if you look where the storms are, well, we'll wait. But we've got quarter size.
Yeah, that's fair.
Quarter
Okay.
ping pong.
We'll just take it one block at a time.
It's quicker than Western. It's going to be central Wisconsin. In 20 minutes.
And here's a look at the top stories at this hour. The president travels to Wisconsin on Tuesday to raise money for Governor Scott Walker. The fundraiser's location
Yeah, I
don't get that.
Getting in the door costs $1,000, and according to the Associated Press, getting a photo with the president and the governor will set you back $10,000. The president will also reportedly visit a technical college in
I'm going to send you that, Kelly.
The defense team has rested in the Geronimo Yanez trial, with closing statements now set for Monday. Officer Yanez made the stand Friday.
it's really skippy.
He did not want to shoot Philando
I
Castile.
shut it down and restarted yesterday.
You bring up a line when I was moving it. It would track a cell when I was trying to do a line.
Yeah, it just wasn't working. Still a good bow, but it's so separated now.
I'm not so pixelated.
I don't know.
Wait, go into your radar setting.
And the Human Rights Campaign pays tribute to the Pulse nightclub shooting victims in Washington, D.C. The organization's building shone brightly as local musicians played soft music with the crowd singing along.
Oh, I see.
Were impacted by the attack. All 49 victims' names were engraved into the building. Tomorrow marks 1 year
Oh, and
since
you've got the
Omar Teen opened
watch box
fire
above
in
it,
the
that's
Orlando
why.
nightclub in what's now the deadliest
Oh,
shooting
yeah.
in U.S. history.
Don't worry about it.
And this weekend, people are remembering the actor who was nicknamed the Bright
Okay,
Knight,
what do we wanna do
playing the
now?
Cape Crusader. Adam West lost his battle with leukemia on
police
Friday
stations are
in
still
Los
nonstop.
Angeles. Fox's
I feel weird comparatively.
Okay.
on the light.
I mean, chicken finisher headlights here. I'm giving you chicken. But I think they're just, there's photos and videos, you know.
Can we put it back in severe weather?
Yeah, if we want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah, I just think and you've got photos that Simone's really 2 pieces of video.
Do they have photos back there?
Yeah,
for extreme weather?
if you just call for them, they're ready.
Okay, we didn't know. We weren't told.
I'm sorry, but
No,
said
you're
a couple
fine.
times,
You're fine.
there's a couple pieces of video, a live picture from the inside.
I know. We just wanted to do the live stuff first.
We didn't get anything here, Cal.
And although the series only ran on ABC from 1966 to 1968,
Do you want anything different this time, in terms of this, or just go with it? Okay.
You can even, some of them are saved weird.
So
Did
we're.
you just redo it?
No, I didn't redo anything. I just went back to radar. We're gonna go do some more severe weather coverage and keep you all in peace of mind, just in case you don't have any power, FYI. Even though the majority of the severe weather is passed by the metro at the moment.
stand back. And aspired to make a positive impact on his family's lives. He was always and will be our hero. In Hollywood, Anita Logo, Fox News.
The other half of the dynamic duo,
what's
Burt
on
Ward,
this
who
down
played
here?
Robin, along with
That's the
Diane
moving
West,
part.
fondly remembers his co-star.
So we're gonna go back into severe coverage. So this is gonna be still no break. We're gonna do a bunch of weather again, FYI. So you're catching all the behind-the-scenes stuff of severe weather coverage.
West also served as an announcer on American Forces Network.
Here's a clicker.
The time now is 9:39. It's time to check in with Cody Jones in the Weather Center. Cody, we've been on this all morning. We're talking dangerous winds, hail, wind gusts of up to 80 miles per hour in some places, damage, power outages.
Cody, come on in.
Power outages for those
That's correct. Yep.
following along over the past hour and a half. And it's
Yeah.
up to speed.
Okay, so two of us, Iris.
Yep.
Surprise.
Obviously, there's here.
Chief
Yeah.
Meteorologist Ian Leonard is
Yep.
here with us.
Yeah, we're here.
We're both here. Cody's live on Facebook Live. Look, we lifted ourselves out of severe weather coverage because the metro was severe weather free. But I think we're going to continue here because of the threat that exists for parts of Goodhue County and out into parts of extreme western Wisconsin. So, Iris, we're going to step back in for a few minutes here and go live, let everyone in the booth know, as they already do.
I believe we have some pictures to show
Yeah.
as well, so lots of coverage still to come.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the pictures that we've gotten in so far. And Cody's holding the phone because
Yep.
he's live on Facebook.
I am.
Why, you say? Because we have over 70,000 people without power, and in particular people in the Southwest Metro. This is the only reason they're
Yeah,
getting it.
and we've been getting requests like, hey, do Facebook Live so we can watch this, and we're trying to hit it as many angles as we can to make sure you can view us somehow.
It's also where you get an idea how tall Cody is. I'm 6'1".
Overshadow everybody.
Ridiculous. All right, so let's get back into severe weather coverage here as we talk about it. Cody is on Facebook Live. There's a live look at radar. And a few minutes ago I said, look, we'll drop out of this because there's the loop. 494, 694. It's some leftover showers, some leftover thunder and lightning, but the severe weather threat has passed for the greater Twin Cities metro. Look here, out to the west where there was the nasty storms 2 hours ago, that's all finished. But notice the severe thunderstorm warning and this very distinct core that you see here between Amory and Woodville. Now, about 15 minutes ago, we were looking at Stillwater saying the storm is not on you. You've got some time to batten down the hatches. Why so quick? The forward motion of these storms, and in particular here, this core is over 50 miles per hour. That's the storm motion moving forward. I use the analogy a lot when we talk about straight line winds, and this is a straight line wind event. This has nothing to do with tornadoes. But there's the bow, and think about releasing the arrow.
Now I can.
The arrow is a straight line winds in advance of that core that we have reports of 60 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. Cody Matz, you got something new?
I do. I have some damage reports, and then we're going to go to some pictures in just a second for those in the back. 70-mile-an-hour winds reported in Dassel. That's in Meeker County. Lino Lakes reporting golf ball-size hail. That was about a half hour ago or so. Somerset, Wisconsin. That's in St. Croix County. A little over golf ball-size hail. What would you consider egg size hail, or hen egg size, however you want to describe that. We also have thunderstorm damage to large trees down in Waite Park. That's in Stearns County. Also, New Richmond recording $half size hail. Trees down in Hudson as well as Dresser. That's in Polk County, Wisconsin. So the damage continues to come in. And I'm just going to look at another report from Xcel Energy now. Almost 80,000 customers without power. That number continuing to climb here.
You know, that number climbs by about 10,000
Yep.
every 10 or 15 minutes.
Pretty much.
And that's going to continue as the reports come in. Overall, here comes the storms out of the Dakotas first thing this morning. Here comes the storms through the metro, and we deal with severe thunderstorm warnings now just to the east of the metro. You see them illuminated and flashing in black. So a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Goodhue. A few minutes ago I said Goodhue, it's coming, it's on the way. Notice the very sharp line here, riding right through Goodhue County. That very sharp line are those strong winds starting to roll into and through Goodhue County. Goodhue County, Pepin, and Pierce, you're all in severe thunderstorm warnings until 10:15. That's a full 32 minutes from now. The severe thunderstorm warnings for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix, that continues here off to the north and to the northeast of the metro. There's the line here advancing through parts of Goodhue County. I want to move the map here and talk about the second corps from Amory bending all the way back down to just east of Baldwin. There's the second corps riding through Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix County until 10:30. This is what I talked about earlier. From the start of the strong and even severe storms until the severe threat is passed is about 60 minutes for any one location today. That's what we're seeing here in Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix County in the severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30. And Cody, the damage reports continue to stack off. I looked there because Cody's off camera in the weather center. The damage reports continue to stack up. And we have 70-some thousand people without power. The heart of the Twin Cities metro is finished with the severe weather threat. But notice the severe weather warnings, and just as I'm here, Cody, and I know we're talking about going to a break in the booth, but I want to hold on here because as we're talking here, look what's happening. We're getting an early tornado vortex signature here just to the south and west of Amory, Wisconsin. There's the overall track. We have another tornado vortex signature here just to the west.
It's that
of
bow.
Advance Creek. It's
That
all
bow
in
is
bow.
incredible.
So you're saying to yourself, well, what are the little yellow squares? Those are meso signatures. They give us a degree of spin suspended in the storm. These are tornado vortex signatures that are in the heart of this storm right now. Try getting a little closer down toward Amory, Advance Creek, Black Brook, Deer Park, Alden, Garfield, all of these areas here, right in the heart of the core. And then when I say the core, that's the purple area here that's bounded in white. That's where we found the greatest hail threat, ping pong ball size hail possibilities. We also heard from the Weather Service that there was the possibility in this particular core right here of tennis ball sized hail. And now from Doppler radar, see that spin there where it says early? See the spin here where it doesn't say early? That's a Doppler indicated tornado. This is the possibility of a Doppler indicated tornado. Now, really important, immensely important for me to tell you this. This does not mean there's a tornado, and it does not mean there's a tornado on the ground. It means the Doppler radar is noticing that in multiple slices through the storm, there are multiple layers with a degree of rotation. That tells us this is a very strong storm here. For parts of Amory, Wisconsin, it is on you right now. The severe thunderstorm warning for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix. And you got some decent pictures coming in, Cody. Does anything represent anything in contact with the ground here out to the east?
It doesn't look like it. Just the typical shelf clouds. We've had a whole bunch of hail pictures, but not seeing much from that particular neck of the woods. So if you have a picture that you can take safely, we'd love to see it and see what's on the ground. I have not seen anything from the National Weather Service confirming anything other than hail.
Look at the forward speed of the storm.
Wow.
That's what's represented on Doppler. 58 miles per hour is how fast the storm is tracking to the east. Blackbrook in 5 minutes. Arlen in 23 minutes. Ridgeland in 28 minutes. That's that particular side of the storm. But we can continue to track this storm and track the cells here. So here, watch how fast this storm is moving. representing on Doppler radar at 56 miles per hour forward speed into Sheridan, Wisconsin in 11 minutes, and Sioux Creek in the next 25 minutes. So very strong storm, all part of the severe thunderstorm warning for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix, all until 10:30. So we've got a spell of time to go here. Back to the Twin Cities Metro. Still some big time rain here from downtown St. Paul off to the east and to the southeast. Say it again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. The severe weather threat for the greater Twin Cities Metro is past. The severe thunderstorm warnings have been allowed to expire for Goodhue, Pepin, and Pierce, still in a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15 this morning. And that's the line that I was talking about earlier, moving through parts of Goodhue County. You can start to see another core beginning to develop here, Cody, as you look from
Wow, yeah, you can.
all the way down to West Concord. I think what we're beginning to see here is that this is fresh air. This hasn't been storm involved at all. So it's almost like a forest fire that's raging and finds a new part of the forest to work into. That's fuel to the fire. See how definitive that line is from Rock Elm all the way down to West Concord. This line will continue to advance off to the east at between 60 and 80 miles per hour. So multiple little cores beginning to show up. But I'm going to go into the storms feature and give everyone a better idea what this looks like.
Yeah.
So there's your hail and your coefficient. So put this all together. When we talk about a real definitive line of the rain advancing, look how different it is here from Cannon Falls into Goodhue, from Hastings into Red Wing. Red Wing and Goodhue, you don't have the rain, you don't have the storm, but what you will have in about 15 minutes is a raging storm with the possibility of winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning still continuing well to the east of the metro. And this is, and Cody, you and I, we look at this and we start to get nervous when we start to see this bow.
I've been nervous all morning.
From Amory back down to southwest of Arland, just to the west of Hay River, and then back down here. Here's 94. Give you a representation here. So this is all to the north of 94. This is a very strong bow. And as we work 20, 30 minutes from now, this bow will be right here near Chetek. Now, let's go back in time.
Okay.
2 months and go back to Chetek, Wisconsin. Here's Chetek. This strong line of storms is advancing right toward Chetek, and there is no getting out of the way because this is a large storm. It covers right now almost 4 counties or portions thereof of 4 counties. It is north of 94 and it is tracking due east at nearly 55 miles per hour. There's a better idea for you. So Chetek is right now in the storm cone. Tracking the cell here from the center of the line that's going through Chetek. Some of the forward speeds here, Cody. Doppler representation, look, I'll shrink it down. There's the Doppler representation in the background. The storm track overlaid at 67 miles per hour forward speed.
That's
of
unreal.
the storm. That puts it into Sheridan, Wisconsin in 7 minutes. And our friends in Chetek, who were so badly beaten up and ravaged by that previous storm. Chetek, you are now under the weather gun. I'm sad to say it. Chetek under the weather gun in the next 30 minutes. And when we look at this, every block of our storm track is 10 minutes. So this is a full 30 minutes out in time. The perceived track as Doppler has locked onto the core of this storm. So working towards Chetek here in the next 24 minutes. It is time for, if you're in that area that was so ravaged by those storms, it's time to put your storm plan into effect. Areas like Chetek, in the Sheridan, with these strong storms moving your way. Again, these storms tracking off to the east at nearly 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's the forward speed. From the cities back toward the west, you're all clear. It is going to get very muggy and very humid. But now the flashing here on Storm Vision gives you an idea where our current warnings are. All right, let's go ahead and check out some pictures that we have
queued up, I believe, from some viewers. I believe the technical crews got them picked up. There we go. From our Facebook page. This is Mark. Obviously, low-hanging cloud, a lot of dark skies. We've all seen that through the day today, or through the morning hours at least. Going down a little further, Laura sent us this one. Yeah, we have, looks like water down the street and lots of hail. That has certainly been a story through the day today, is a lot of hail. Lots of very low clouds. This looks like some shelf cloud, or what we call undulatus asperatus, mostly because I just wanted to say that.
Jacques Cousteau Club.
Yeah, very good. And looks like almost golf ball size hail. This is in Somerset, Wisconsin from Brennan. Thank you very much for sending that to us. Lots of posts on our Facebook page, lots of posts on our Twitter page as we just scroll through some of the hail pictures. Just tremendous hail pictures coming in. Wow, that's a big piece of hail.
What I love is that our viewers are putting something to represent
the
size of the hail. Because people will put it in their hand. I'm like, well, I don't know how big your hand is.
Yeah, exactly.
So putting something in the pictures, the golf ball, right
Golf
there.
ball, perfect. Centerville.
A quarter or that tube of chapstick. Those are all great. It gives us a great idea. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's a golf ball. There's more Centerville pictures. So, yeah, tremendous pictures. If you want to tag us in some pictures, you can hashtag Fox9 Weather on Twitter, or obviously you can post them to our Facebook page. We'd love to see them. We'll show lots more on the air, of course, when we have more coverage and more of our typical newscasts coming up a little bit later today.
All right, back to live coverage of these strong, severe storms as they continue to track off to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties until 10:30. Severe thunderstorm warning now extended for Burnett, Douglas, Sawyer, and Washburn counties. That's this northern tier here, working in deep into the heart of cabin country now. So, I think in my head, I can probably find 3 or 4 people who work at Fox who have cabins up in this area of Wisconsin. If you're in cabin country this morning for the next couple of hours, Burnett, Douglas, Sawyer, Washburn counties, Barron, Dunn, Polk, St. Croix counties, it is all time to stay sky aware and keep your personal storm plan very, very close. We're not talking tornadoes. We are talking winds with possible wind gusts at 60 to 80 miles per hour. We are talking about possible ping pong plus size hail. We saw pictures there from Centerville and represented all across the Fox 9 viewing area of golf ball size hail. We can easily get golf ball and higher in the core of this storm. And here it is, right? This is, in essence, the double core storm. So I'm going to back up so you can see it. Everywhere you see these red fans tracking off to the east from the yellow squares, that's where we find the 2 distinct separate cores. Let's start here on the southern core, working through parts of Red Wing, parts of Goodhue County. This line has now come through Goodhue, is approaching Zumbrota, is now on top of Red Wing. Blinding rain, the thunder, the lightning, the ping pong ball plus size hail, and wind gusts possible of 60 to 80 miles per hour. That's what's here, working through Red Wing and most of Goodhue County. But then you work to the north, pick up that secondary cell. Here it is that had the Weather Service worried with at least the possibility of tennis ball sized hail. Here it is right here. The tornado vortex signature, the amount of spin that we were finding at multiple levels of the radar scan, those are finished. Instead, replaced by what we call mesosignatures. Still a degree of rotation in the storm, but it's less about the actual rotation and more about what that rotation means. We're talking about straight line winds, and as those winds advance, they get swept up into the storm, these spins, the rotation. So the wind advances, hits the ground, picks up some of the atmosphere, the chaos in the atmosphere, then we get the twist. That's why we're able to say this is where we find the strongest winds, 60 to 80 miles per hour plus. Remember, last hour we had winds confirmed at MSP International of 70 miles per hour, confirmed. In the metro, we also had winds west of the metro in parts of Kandiyohi County, confirmed at 71 miles per hour. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that as these storms have stayed intact, in particular this core right here, for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties, that we are talking about possible winds in excess of 60 to 80 miles per hour. So let's give it a quick track here. Pick one of our big storms, and here we go. And it's still mesmerizing, Cody, that we're talking about forward wind speeds of 60 plus miles per hour. So there's the line that we're concentrating on, from yellow square to yellow square to yellow square. Mesosignatures spin on Doppler radar. Here's the latest, working into Sand Creek in the next 16 minutes and advancing all the way into, well, it's going to take it out of Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties here in the next 15 minutes. Cody, anything new coming in?
We do have one new report, and very interesting report. So this is coming in from the city of Hudson. This is obviously in western Wisconsin. Large trees down and a report of a gas leak. I'm not exactly sure where, because that's all the information I have. But if you're in and around the area and you smell gas, get away. It appears we have some form of gas leak in Hudson, Wisconsin. If we could, some of our control folks could pass that along to our assignment desk and see if we can call the sheriff's department out there and find out what's happening, that would be great.
Okay. Good information coming in, and again, indicative of a straight line wind event passing through. It's June, so the leaves on the trees are beautiful. Everywhere is green and lovely, but those tree leaves almost act like sails. Fully leafed trees act like big sails when we talk about straight line winds and winds at 60 to 80 miles per hour. So you've got the trees come down, you got power lines, and suddenly you have somewhere near 80,000 people without power. That's why we're on Facebook Live. That's why we stream the coverage live for you on our website at fox9.com. Cody's streaming coverage on his Facebook page, meteorologist Cody Nats. We're also streaming live on our Facebook page, Fox 9 Television. So between all of those, if you've got power out, we definitely have you covered. Perspective, Twin Cities Metro. Now we're talking about the storms working into parts of Goodhue County, but generally the strongest storms here into parts of west and soon northwestern Wisconsin. Cabin country about to be inundated by the rain, the hail, and the possibility of 60 to 80 mile per hour winds. What do you got for power outs now?
Looks like just about 85,000 without power now.
What's Metro? What Metro specific? Can you find it?
Yeah, just let me zoom in here. Metro specific looks like about 65,000. But you zoom out to central and parts of central Minnesota and parts of western Wisconsin, you have 85,000.
Okay. So brand new tornado warning just popped here. Tornado warning for Pepin and Pierce counties. This is a brand new warning. We're going to get that on social media as quick as we can. See it outlined here in red. So there's Maiden Rock. This is the storm that's coming through parts of Goodhue County. We're now here off to the east of Red Wing. That is a new tornado warning for Pepin and Pierce counties until 10:30. It is now 9:59. That gives us a full half an hour here in this tornado warning. So you're off to the southwest of Durand. You're off to the north of Lake City and northwest of Wabasha. Maiden Rock, Lake City, Wabasha, and Durand. Those are your key markers here with the new tornado warning for Pepin and Pierce counties until 10:30. I'm going to go over to our storms feature, Cody, and see what we pop up with. Here's the storm that is working its way off toward Pepin and Pierce County for that new tornado warning at 10:30 a.m. that expires. That's a full half an hour from now. So the new tornado warning has been issued for Pepin and Pierce County until 10:30. I like to say it needs to be said. If you're in these counties, Pepin and Pierce, or a portion of these counties between Maiden Rock, Lake City, Wabasha, and Durand, if you're in this area, you need to put your personal storm plan into effect. That means not getting outside and finding pictures. It means staying away from windows, getting to an interior room, and if possible, getting to a lower level room that is far away from windows as well. Personal storm plan goes into effect for Pepin and Pierce counties with the new tornado warning in place until 10:30 a.m. coming out of the severe thunderstorm warning for Goodhue, Pepin, and Pierce counties until 10:15.
You know what? Pull back out of that. Put reflectivity back on, and let me throw on the velocity product if we can.
Yeah, we can do it.
See if you can zoom back out here.
Well, we can do it here with the scope.
Yeah. Throw it on with the scope. I'm curious. Because it looks like it's going to be on the leading edge of that line, so probably a quick spin up.
So here we are with the new tornado warning right here. You see it flashing in red and black. It's coming out of the severe thunderstorm warning that's flashing in orange and black. That tornado warning from Durand to Lake City, those are your markers. Okay, Wabasha off to the north and to the northwest. So let's scope this. And what Cody's asking for here, if the scope will pop.
There we go. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's a good signature.
There is the difference between what you see on the Fox 9 weather app or what we show you every day. That's showing you precipitation and how radar is interpreting the precipitation. What I've done now here is expand it, and we're looking at what we call Doppler velocity. So Doppler velocity shows us the measurement of what it finds in the atmosphere, what we call hydrometeors, the rain, the hail. It's the measurement in toward the Doppler radar site and away from the Doppler radar site. Those two passing each other, that's the rotation where we find tornadoes. This is the signature that we're keying on right now. We can
looks like it's just north of Lake City at the moment,
zoom in here and
just south of 94.
Here it is right here.
So basically right over Maiden Rock.
Yeah. Oh,
And just passing by, yeah.
Right now. So that's why we've got the new tornado warning out for this area. I'm going to clear this and get back to the warning that we can talk about. There's the tornado warning. Just working into it's here, just to the north. Here, just to the north and northeast of Maiden Rock.
You know what's interesting though is that this one right here too. So point that out to
the
folks.
south of Lake
So
City.
that's kind of juts out a little bit, and that's got just as much, almost as much rotation as the one north of that.
Let's go for this one again. As we,
There you go.
Yeah, there you see it here
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah, right in
So
there.
That's the degree of rotation that we're finding from Doppler. That's why we issued the tornado warning. It's in place until 10:30 this morning. Clear everything off the screen, and again, that's the tornado warning for Pepin and Pierce County. You see it flashing red and black. Now, if you're in Durand or Maxville or even Pepin, you're going, well, we see the clouds, but nothing has happened yet. It's right here on the leading edge of this storm, from here just to the west of Lake City and just to the northeast of Maiden Rock. All along this line is where we find the greatest amount of spin, and that's why that tornado warning was issued for this particular area. I'm going to go back to storms for a second here, Cody. Find the track. There it is. So let me do this. I'm going to move the map, and I'm going to track that tornado. So you can see there's two tornado vortex signatures, and we talked about this. There's the spin representing the tornado vortex signature. So we'll track the cell here, and this is the one that is just to the north and east of Lake City. There it is, working off to the south and to the southeast at nearly 60 miles per hour. So Maiden Rock in the next 5 minutes, Maxville arrival time in the next 25 minutes, Nelson the arrival time in 28 minutes. Important, very important to point out here. This is all a part of a tornado warning for Pepin and Pierce counties. There's the track. There's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and 30 minutes. If you are in these portions of Pepin and Pierce counties, put your personal storm plan into effect. Enough rotation here to come out with a tornado warning that's in place until 10:30. That's a full 25 minutes from now. Strongest rotation here just to the west of Maiden Rock. Arrival time for a possible tornado into Maiden Rock is in 5 minutes. So it is very important to put your personal storm plan into effect if you were in Pepin and Pierce counties. That warning is in place until 10:30 a.m. The new severe thunderstorm warning that's beginning to go here out to the north and northeast of this storm is done. Eau Claire and Pepin counties until 11 a.m. I'm going to move off this screen here and just talk about what's going on off to the south end of the southwest of the metro. So Norwood Young America was the first one that we heard of no power. We have almost 80,000+ people without power. Norwood Young America is back into some showers. Add insult to injury. You've got some scattered showers. Just want to set your mind at ease. We're not talking any more severe weather for the greater metro or areas west, at least not in the next hour or two. We are concentrating here off to the northeast of the metro, but more importantly, off to the south and southeast of the metro with the latest tornado warning, that has come out and will continue to be a part of our coverage here fully until 10:30. Now, the core that was coming through Goodhue County, here it is. All of Goodhue County has been involved in the storm as of right now. As of 20 minutes ago, it was only half. That speaks to the forward speed of the storm, moving off to the east at roughly 50 to 60 miles per hour. There's the latest tornado warning. Wabasha to Durand, stretching all the way back to Lake City. I'm going to zoom in on this, and it'll give you an idea. It's not a big tornado warning. This is a very small area. It is here off to the east of Red Wing. We're talking about the strongest portion of the storm right now at 10:06. Right now, over top of Maiden Rock. Lake City, you're under the weather gun, consider yourself warned. Wabasha, you're under the weather gun, consider yourself warned. Maxville, Durand, the exact same thing. Under the weather gun, all in the next 15 minutes. You see the storm lurch forward there. Forward speed of this storm between 50 and 60 miles per hour. Give you an idea what's happening with the storms as they track. There it is. 2 tornado vortex signatures on the map. Flashing in red and black. Durand, Maiden Rock, Lake City, all the way to Wabasha. That is the tornado warning that's flashing in red and black. Move this just a skosh so you can get a better idea. Let's track the storm that's right over top of Maiden Rock right now. There's the storm. moving off to the south and to the southeast, slowing down in forward speed now at 44 miles per hour. Maiden Rock in the next 4 minutes, Nelson in the next 28 minutes, Maxville in the next 24. Again, what you're looking at, there's the tornado warning flashing in red and black. Very small portions of Pepin and Pierce counties, the tornado warning in place until 10:30. That's a 10-minute stretch on Doppler technology. That's a 20-minute stretch, and that's a full 30. Gives you an idea of the overall programmed track into Doppler from what's happening with the storm now. Strongest portion of the storm right over top of Maiden Rock. Notice how you see the purple and the blue that stretch all the way back to between Ellsworth and Hay Creek. That's giving us an idea of the strongest core of this storm, where it sits right now, approaching Maiden Rock in the next 4 minutes, and it will continue this track. It has been a slow and steady track off to the south and to the southeast, or east-southeast more appropriately here, working at nearly 45 miles per hour. So the tornado warning flashing in red and black for parts of Pepin and Pierce counties until 10:30 a.m. I know Cody's working on pictures. Do we have any chasers out there, Cody?
Not that I've seen. We just have all of our viewer chasers that are out there. And we actually just got a picture from one of our photographers that I can't get on the air at the moment. We'll try to get it on the air a little bit later. But it looks like it's the side of a house or maybe his house. But the entire side has just been littered with damage from wind-driven hail.
Wow.
Just his siding just took a
I
beating.
can see it. You can't. We're gonna
Yeah,
get you the
we'll get
picture
it there.
eventually. This is Eden Prairie. That's Lake Smetana. That's a little tiny lake. Some people are going, where's Lake Smetana? This is just off to the east of the Twin Cities Broadcast Center, the headquarters here at Fox 9. You're looking out to the east at the clouds that we're actually tracking on radar as these storms roll west to east at nearly 55 miles per hour. Twin Cities Metro, you are out of the severe weather threat, but we are dealing with multiple threats now off to the east. In west central Wisconsin, severe thunderstorm warning with winds possible at 60 to 80 miles per hour. Hail possible greater than ping pong ball size hail for Barron, Dunn, Polk, and St. Croix counties. The latest here is the tornado warning for a small portion of Pepin and Pierce counties. That tornado warning is in place for a full 21 minutes more. It will expire at 10:30 a.m. And here is the heart of that tornado warning. Again, the tornado warning is outlined here, and it's flashing red and black. Let me just move this and give you a better close-up. Here it is, flashing red and black. It is from Maiden Rock, bordering on Lake City, down toward Wabasha, up toward Durand. It is a very small portion of Pepin and Pierce counties, but it is a tornado warning that will continue here for the next 20 minutes off for parts of Pepin and Pierce counties, where we have plenty of power outages from the Twin Cities Metro to the south and to the southwest. That's where we've got another line of some scattered showers and very, very weak rumbling thunderstorms. I don't want anybody to think that here your severe weather threat is beginning to make another appearance, because quite simply it isn't. Our focus right now is on the severe thunderstorm warnings for Goodhue, Pepin and Pierce, and the tornado warnings for a small portion of Pepin and Pierce County until 10:30 a.m. I'm going to go back down into the tornado warning. Go ahead, Cody.
We do have some wind reports that I wanted to pass along just to kind of confirm what we already pretty much know. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts reported at MSP Airport earlier this morning. Same for Mayer, that's in Carver County. Had a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust at Eden Prairie Flying Cloud Airport. Getting a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust in New Germany. That's in Carver County. Henderson, Scott County getting a 56-mile-an-hour wind gust earlier. And now golf ball size hail reported both in New Richmond and in Downing. Both of those were, well, Downing was about 20 minutes ago, and New Richmond was about 40 minutes ago.
Okay. So, but the history and the reason people say, well, that's 40 minutes ago, what's going on? It's the history of the storm that gives us at least an idea of the power involved in the storm. This, as the storm is riding into some decidedly rich, storm environment rich air. In other words, plenty of fuel to add to, use an analogy to the forest fire. This storm is riding into a fresh part of the forest. So, flashing in red and black right here is the tornado warning for parts of Pepin and Pierce counties until 10:30. The strongest core of the storm was over top of Maiden Rock. Notice where we've got the white here. represented with the purple, that is now where our core is. So as I've done before, you can pull up the storms to give you a better idea where everything is marching here. This is the hail core. So the blue surrounded by the purple here, that's the strongest hail core. Notice how it came over top of Maiden Rock. Now it's less blue, it's a deeper blue rather than the bright white, but it is now north and northeast of Maiden Rock, south and southwest of Plum City. When you, I just want to keep going here and pull out and talk about the tornado vortex signature. That is not present anymore, but we have plenty of spin. And there's our spin tracks here in the blue and purple, coming to the north of Red Wing and riding right into parts of Pepin and Pierce counties, hence the tornado warning until 10:30 a.m. So still plenty going on. Bring it back to the metro. Some scattered showers, some weak rumbling thunderstorms from downtown Minneapolis off to the south and to the southwest. Okay, so we're gonna take a few minutes here and get back to Iris Perez on the anchor desk. Iris, who's been sitting there, just back to the news. Iris, so it's a Fox 9 Morning News. We're here until 11. Cody Matz will have the weather on the nines. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And of course, all right, let's do this. Fluid situation, just learning. We're going to go quickly to a break. And we'll be back with more of the Fox 9 Morning News with Cody and Iris and myself right after.
Ian, thanks so much for coming.
We're in break.
So awesome. Hey, I was doing Facebook Live for a little bit, but I didn't want to interject. I was
Yes.
taking photos and retweeting them.
There is a lag between TV and Facebook. So the Metro,
I know, but I didn't have anything to show,
What makes
really,
it fun
unless...
for me?
the Metro looks to be out of the main warnings.
If you were okay with that, and
Just getting some scattered thunderstorms now. All of the other warnings are to the southeast of the Metro now, from Pine Island and Goodhue through Red Wing and over to Pepin County, Wisconsin. So I'm going to cut out of Facebook Live coverage. Granted, there's still lots of folks without power, some 80,000 folks without power, but it looks like for the majority of us, at least in our coverage area, we're done. So I'm going to say bye-bye for Facebook Live. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you to Ian. And we'll see you on the TV. Remember, Fox 9 Morning News continues through 11 a.m. You can catch us there.